Hear the hits, watch the hits, hit music all day.
Like this. We play the hits.
All about the hits. All about the hits. All about the hits. All about the hits. We are Radio 44.
Good morning. Rise and shine. Rise and shine. The secret ingredient for a rocking morning playlist.
The greatest hits.
All wrapped up and ready to go. This is the Morning Mojo with Jeet.
On Radio 44.
As we all know, paddle is not just a sport anymore. Paddle is a way of life. I think there are more conversations about paddle in every party nowadays than anything else. And right now, we do have one of the pioneers of the industry, Manan Patel, the director of Pro Padel, right here in Premier Club. So we're going to be deciphering paddle because someone like me has no idea what the game is about. We've had that curiosity, but, well, we've never made that jump. Perhaps this interview is all you need, or this chat, rather, is all you need to make that jump yourself. So don't go anywhere. Keep it right here. And if you have any questions, send them in 0758 123 444. I think that's just a perfect track for the morning right here. Good morning to you, Manan. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning, Jeet.
Are you all right?
All good.
Yeah. I wouldn't say you do for sure. Ever since you started paddle, I'm sure you must be waking up pretty early and everything, right?
At the start, I used to wake up at 7 in the morning, rushing to the courts. The drive was just crazy, man. It was... Paddle is life, man. Paddle is life right now, all I can say.
Yeah, and that's why you became the director of a very popular one at Premier Club, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it came to me as an opportunity. I grabbed it, and it's just a passion. And I just went into it without thinking, and I just knew it was going to be a success. And yeah, it's just thriving right now.
All right, so here's my question for you. How did you actually first get involved in paddle, and what like attracted you to the whole sport?
Actually, I was not attracted to paddle at all.
Okay.
I mean, my sister, she used to tell me, you need to play paddle, Manan. And I was like, what's paddle? Who plays paddle? What is this racket sport? And you know, I was never into racket sports. I was a cricketer. And then my wife went to play at Jaffrey's, and I was like, you went to play paddle? And she's like, it's a really good sport. I was like, okay. Took me like a couple months, and then at one time my sister and all the friends got together. They went to play paddle, so I felt I'm going to be left out. Trust me, as soon as I entered that court and I touched that first ball with my racket, and I was like, what is this racket with, like, what, 40 holes or something?
Yeah.
And I hit that ball, and bro, I was like, wow, this is fun.
That's a different feeling.
Yeah, and I was like, this is what I was missing out on. And we played a game, and I came out, I was so hot. And I was like, dude, I need to do this again. So I got back in the court the same time. I was like, when's the next booking? Can I get any booking? This was at Gigiri.
Yeah.
And I just booked like three timings of the week after. And we made sure that we made it every time on time with all the friends together. And that's how it all started.
So it became a crew thing then?
Yeah, it was a crew thing at the start before the competition kicked in. But every time it was paddle on the group, we were like, paddle, let's go, boys. Let's go, girls, let's do it. Yeah, so that's how it started.
So, you know, I mean, paddle to me is still a relatively new sport, right? Like, how did this originate, and, you know, why has it become the fastest growing sport in the world?
So, paddle... At first, I didn't know what the origination was. You know, it's from Mexico in 1969.
What?
It was 1969. It's not so. It's just here, like 1969.
Yeah.
And we knew about the sport recently, like a couple of years ago. And then we researched about the sport. Like, you know, when you play a sport, you want to know more about it.
Yeah.
So it's like a guy in Mexico just started some he wanted to have a paddle tennis court. He couldn't fit it into his house, so he made a smaller court with walls around it, and that's how it started. If you like research about it, that's the exact story. And then from there, one of his friends, the owner of the tennis court, which was now a paddle court, he took it to, I think, Spain, and it just grew so big in Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, he took it as a business concept, and he saw how addicting it was. And now paddle is everywhere. It's the fastest growing sport. It has more than 20,000 courts in Spain itself. If you say someone in Africa, like Egypt, has 2,000 courts. So just imagine Portugal, imagine Argentina, Italy.
Yeah. Even Dubai is pretty big on it.
Yeah, Dubai is getting huge right now. America is getting big. India is getting big now into paddle.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
it's become a culture now.
It's a culture, man. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and then right after that, he's going to actually share some tips for beginners who might be interested in starting paddle. Like I said, I'm completely uninitiated, unversed, so I'm also learning quite a bit, and I'm sure you are as well. Don't go anywhere.
Hear the hits. Watch the hits.
We play the hits.
Hit music all day.
Like this.
I am what I say, yes, I go.
Your number one hit music station.
We are Radio 44. Your music, your life.
Badsha, Nuclear, and Benny Dial with that one, and we do have Manan Patel right here in the studios, and we're talking about paddle. Now, you've got your own paddle court, Pro Padel.
Correct.
Okay, now, I need to know more about this. You know, people, we're seeing courts pop up every day, okay? But you guys are constantly busy, you're always full. What's the success story, and can you tell me how exactly it started?
So sometime last November, we had come up with this idea that we were just a group of friends together, you know, we were just chilling in Miko. And we're like, we should do something in paddle because it's the go-to business right now. And whoever's going to fall in it at the right time, with the right location, is going to be successful. And one of our friends, his name is Prashant, he came up with this idea. He's like, let's do this. He has some contacts at Premier. So Premier is a Patel club. I'm a Patel. We knew a few people. And Premier was like, you know, they needed something to get going. After Corona, it was pretty tough for the club. And then we came up with a proposal. We went as a team. I mean, at the end, it was only 2 remaining from the from the group because, you know, people drop out one by one.
I gotta interrupt with one question. Those people are still around you?
They're still around.
They
all
regret?
my boys.
They regret?
All regret it. Every time they come up, we're like, damn, we should have stayed with you. But anyway, we were just the last 2 remaining, and we had to push it in December. We got the approval by March. And it was pretty hectic because we see all these advertisements of other courts coming up.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting like a bit nervous. Should we do it? Should we not do it? But trust me, it's just the passion of the sport. If you're in love with the sport, if you can drive the sport through, you know you can build a community. You just have to believe that you can do this and let the whole paddle community accept you, you know, that you've built courts. It's not that easy, and they understand that. And we started in March. In the range we constructed, took us 3 months to complete 3 courts with our hangout bar. I mean, we just created a gem, to be honest. If you come to our courts, you will just see how much energy it has. It's just full of vibes, man.
It's a vibe. It's a good vibe. But for someone to start this, is it a significant investment?
Let me tell you, there are 2 ways to do it. You see, I'm already in the plumbing industry, construction industry, and we know how it's done. But someone to actually have in contract, have the designs done, you know, do it complete engineering professional way. It's a big investment.
It's a big investment.
It's not easy.
So if you know your stuff.
If you know your stuff, you know you're going to save a lot. But if you're going to give it out,
Yeah.
I don't know what your ROI is going to be, but you really have to also be careful that if you're going to have the quicker ROI, the better, right?
Yes.
So if you have a bigger investment and with all these paddle courts coming in, it's a big risk.
So, I'm still going to keep it a little business right now. So what would an ideal payback period be for such an investment?
I mean, if you talk about last year, it would be like one year or so.
Okay.
Now we're looking at about 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years.
Having about 3 courts would be clearly a 50 to 60 million investment.
Okay.
If you're going to create a space for events, you're going to create a space for a nice restaurant. If you're going to make sure you have ample parking space, external civil works, that takes a lot of your money. And just the rent and electricity and things like that, man. It all builds up.
So what sets Pro Padel apart from the rest?
Pro Padel is a vibe. Yeah, it's the best place to have events. It's
Okay.
the best place actually to just come and hang out with friends. That's why we call our bar the Hangout Bar and Cafe.
Yeah.
We have courts to international standards.
Okay.
We have 4-meter distances between the 2 courts. So you
Okay.
don't feel so close to each other. I mean, if I'm going to be like shouting at you, playing at you, I don't want the other court guys to hear something.
Oh, so you're one of those guys.
Trust me, everybody is going to be like shouting on the court, especially when you miss a shot or you lose a point. You can really lose it off. But then also you can come out of the court and play the ball inside.
Okay.
So all the professional players, or in the future when we have events, professional events, where we might have international players coming in, and they always go outside the court and hit the ball back in.
Oh, okay.
And we've left space for that.
Lovely.
And we've left enough space for spectator viewing. We've got a deck we can see from the top.
Nice.
And we just have so much lighting and just creating a very nice vibe.
Okay, so it's the vibe that puts you at the top.
Ask anyone about Pro Padel and who's been to Pro Padel.
Yeah.
That's the one time they come, and they will always be coming back.
Excellent. We'll be back right after this with some tips for beginners and, of course, a little more education on Pro Padel, because trust me, I myself am learning a lot right now. Playing you nothing but the hits on Radio 44. Good morning to you. If you're just tuning in, we've got the director of Pro Padel right here, Manan Patel. And we're talking about paddle. And like I said, very uninitiated, unversed when it comes to the game. So, Manan, if you could actually share some tips for beginners who might be interested in playing paddle.
The first tip is just get on the court.
Okay.
Feel the court. Yeah.
Okay.
My partner, Fenil, he's not a sporty guy at all.
Okay.
He's a good guy with numbers.
I think I've seen that in him.
Yeah, he's one of my partners at Pablo's Maxoba.
Yeah.
When I was getting to teach him a bit, I was telling him first thing was use the walls. The wall is the friend. I mean, which sport gets a ball back to you, right? See squash, see tennis. The ball, once it gets out, it gets out. But with paddle, the ball comes back to you, so there's less running. So always use the wall. The wall is, of course, made of anything, but nowadays it's of glass.
Glass, yeah.
Toughened glass.
Yeah.
But use the wall as your friend. Yeah, keep using the wall. Don't hit the ball direct. Every time the ball bounces, let it go, so you get time to hit the ball.
Okay.
And then the other tip I can say is don't go for power. Yeah, just go for control.
Okay.
This game is about having rallies. That is keeping the ball in play. It's not fun when the ball keeps getting out, or you keep changing the point. You want to keep throwing the rallies in. Like you want to hit the ball at least 5 times before you lose a point. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you score.
Yeah.
So first thing you have to do is make sure you get familiar with the sport in keeping the ball in. There's nothing else. And using the glass. So once you do this, every time you get to play, the next time you keep getting better and better at your control. Yeah, so more control over power. We can say serving, be consistent with your serve. In tennis, you always have 2 tries.
Yes.
When you hear about paddle coaches, they say in paddle tennis, it should be your first try.
First try.
This game has a lot of... You get nervous. I mean, you need a lot of patience. So when you're up to your second serve, you have about 50% chance of killing it out. So yes, your serve has to be perfect. There's a shot called a lob shot.
Okay.
You need to use it strategically. You just need to make sure that you lob it inside the court. Lob is, it goes really high. And then as it's coming down, as soon as it's coming down, you're looking at the ball. You have so many thoughts. What am I going to do with this ball?
So it's psychological.
Or what's going to happen when the ball falls on the ground? You know, it's so psychological. You just have to make sure that you get your lobs right. For beginners. As you get better, the lobs become
easy,
lower and lower and lower. And the game speed is like the ball is just moving around. Yeah, it's like you're dancing on the court. And you practice patience. One of the things is you need to be very patient in this sport. This sport will humble you, bro. It's one sport that will change your life physically, mentally, and your character. So that's
discipline,
why
everything comes in.
Exactly. So that's why this sport is addictive. We'll talk about it later. But these are the points for beginners.
Okay. So you mentioned squash, you mentioned tennis. So what's the difference between this and other racket sports?
Oh man, squash, tennis is hard. I mean, you're going to run from one side to the other side.
Yes.
And you're going to be like huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
It's physically hard.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
So it's less fun.
I mean, you need to be physically tough. It's not for everybody, right? You need to be sporty, physically tough. You need to have years of practice. For paddle, you just get in and play, man.
That's it.
And you're hooked.
And squash?
Squash, I've never played it, but I see it on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, looks difficult to me. A lot of energy, a lot of... what do you call it? You need people coming around in front of you. It's a game of 2 players. It looks pretty difficult to me, but I've never played it, so I can't comment on that.
I'm gonna ask you a very funny one now. What about pickleball?
Oh God, pickleball.
What was that?
Not to be negative about it, but I think pickleball is more of for the elderly. I mean, the Americans are really killing it right now, but they realize paddle is a thing.
Yeah.
It's a bouncing sport, man. You just bounce, you hit it, you move your hands like just left and right. You're just moving your hips a bit up and down.
So, I mean, essentially what you're saying is it's like being Ajay Devgan in a dance move or something.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's probably like a runway just moving around and just showing off his, his sport or his muscles or whatever it is, yeah. But yeah, pickleball to me is a less aggressive sport than paddle.
Oh, and less social?
It is a social sport, but at the same time, I've just played pickleball once or twice. But once you play paddle,
it's something else.
You don't play pickle.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Once you play paddle, you don't play pickle, squash, or tennis.
Right.
Not to break the sport.
Yes.
But the reality of paddle tennis.
Okay, all right. We're taking a short break right now, dropping you this exclusive Radio 44 mashup. Still in the studio with Manan Patel, director of Pro Padel, and we're actually talking about paddle right now. So, Manan, tell me this, right? So, imagine there's someone, all right? Imagine it's me, and I'm thinking about getting into paddle, but I'm very reluctant. How would you convince me to get into it?
There's many advantages to playing paddle. It's a very social sport. I mean, if you're going to have some business out of business hours, you're going to go to what? Like a bar or restaurant, you're just going to have probably a couple drinks, have some food, talk about business. Why not play a game first, yeah? Get to know each other through a game. And then you can do whatever you want after that. But it's the whole social aspect of paddle is huge. You get to know so many people. I have like about 1,000 people on my WhatsApp group.
Right,
yeah?
right.
And everybody knows each other. They get to know each other, get to play with each other, get to know what they're doing. It's a family. So if you have something that you like to share about yourself, how many people do you meet at the gym?
Yes.
Yeah. What, 15, 20 people?
Yeah.
Paddle, you're going to meet 100 people minimum at one tournament, right? And it's something that everybody gets comfortable with. And if you want to be into the whole aspect of enjoying your whole life, being out of your comfort zone,
trying something new.
You want to get in, you just because if you're just tired of the gym, tired of any sport, tired of just doing the same thing all over and over again, I think paddle is the thing for you, man.
Okay, all right. Now, you had the Pink October tournament, and of course, we have the upcoming Movember tournament as well. How is paddle actually making a difference, with all these causes?
So, I was just thinking, there's so many tournaments every month. Why not do something different? The Pink October tournament, of course, it's an international campaign, raises awareness about breast cancer. And as a sport, as a paddle community, if we come together, because we're so many, let's give back to the community. That's what I thought about. Yeah, it's not just all about the money and,
Yeah.
I mean, we did have an entrance to the tournament, but we had Jalara Medical on board. We raised about 208,000 shillings.
Oh, lovely.
Through raffles, we did a lot of decor, and we had a lot of awareness. What do you call it?
Of breast cancer.
Of breast cancer.
Yeah.
We had pamphlets going around. We had everything pink, and it was just something that when you step in, you feel like, what is this? I need to know something about this. So spreading the awareness, educating. Yeah, we had about 56 teams this week.
Okay.
So that's about 102 people.
Yeah.
We had about 300 people that came in and went.
Yeah.
So we've done a good cause, and we have to give back to the community for whatever we do, right?
Yeah.
And through paddle, we're setting an example because it's the fastest growing sport, and we have to make sure that we are giving back. This Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have the Movember tournament, which is all about men's health.
Yeah.
And not a lot of men talk about their health and the issues.
Yeah.
And we have some programs set up, and let's see how it goes, because the Pink October tournament went very well, but the Movember is going to be even bigger because the high level players are playing.
Okay.
Mostly men are playing. And there's going to be a lot of viewing and viewers that are going to be coming in. So it's Diwali time.
Yes.
We have a display on Friday night.
Ah, lovely.
Yeah, so we're doing the tournament, we're doing the display, and we have the finals on Sunday. And it's just, as I said, it's going to be a get-together. It's going to be a lot of awareness program for men's health, and it's just going to be a vibe, so better be there.
Excellent. Okay, now, every interview we have, I love to have what we call a quick fire round.
Oh, man.
So I'm just, you haven't seen any of the questions or anything, so I am going to start off with the quick fire round. Are you ready?
Bring it on, man.
Let's change the mood a bit.
Done.
All right. Couple of questions, not too hard. Are you ready?
Go.
Your favorite paddle shot?
Gancho.
Okay. Your pre-match ritual?
Have some water.
Okay. Your post-match snack?
Have a protein bar.
Okay. Is paddle more about the love of the game or the friendships you make on the court?
The love of the game.
Do you usually win or lose a game?
Always lose.
If you could pick a name for yourself on the court, what would it be?
Nacho.
Okay. All right. How do you react to missing a point in a high-octane match?
Show a face to your opponent.
That's it?
That's it.
I thought you'd be going all out over there, man. I thought you'd be losing your mind.
Not really. Just have a face at him and be like, you know what, I got you next time.
Okay, all right. Manan, I think it was a phenomenal thing. Thank you so much for educating me on what exactly paddle is. A person like me would have never known. And keep up the phenomenal work.
I'm going to see you on the court soon, bro.
You have literally pulled me in, haven't you? Your conversion rate is pretty high, isn't it?
It's very high, trust me. 100 out of 100. All the time I meet somebody, I've got them on the court.
I will see you on the court, brother.
Take it.
All right.